didn't you give it to the police?
I needed to see it for myself.
All right, we are here now for my review of Shelby Oaks. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this one because I have some feelings. So I have been a fan of Chris Stuckman since 2014, I think is really the first time I remember watching him. One of the earliest memory I have of watching a Stuckman video was, weirdly enough, the Lego movie. That was around the time I was getting into like AMC Movie Talk, which I believe was around then. If it wasn't, it came out very shortly after. But I had just discovered Stuckman, and then I got into Jeremy Johns after that. And I've been Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns are the two movie reviewers that I have watched and followed very closely for that entire time, for this whole time. Like, there's people that have come in and out, but they are the two that I've watched. I really value their opinion, and I've even gotten to the point where I see so many movies that I actually wait to kind of watch their review until I see the movie, but I watch every video they put out because I think they're just like really great guys, and I really enjoy what they have to say about movies, and they're very different, and the way that they talk about movies is very different. But all of that to be said is I've been a fan of Chris's for a long time, so I've watched everything he's done, and when it kind of came out that, you know, he was putting together the Kickstarter to fund Shelby Oaks, I did donate to it. So I have that kind of going for me, looking at the movie from the outside in. Like, I did donate to the movie. I did do the tier. I should put up the picture. I'm going to put up the picture on screen. I paid the tier that got my name in the credits. I took a picture of it at the end of the movie. There it is. I was very happy about that. All I did was donate some money, and I got my name in the credits of the movie, but I was pretty proud of that. I felt good. I know that another person in the community, Maria Hammond, she also did the same. So if any of you also did the same, let me know. I'd be interested to know. But I was really excited because like I said, I'm a big fan of Chris's. I think his story is really interesting. If you didn't know, like, his whole story, like, if you go back, he put out a video, I want to say probably 2021, where he kind of talks about like his family background and how he got into movies and everything. And I think it's just a really good story. And he's just a person I really, really admire. So I wanted to donate to his project. And if you didn't know, it ended up being one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Kickstarter of all time. Big money. He made I think over $1 million on this Kickstarter. Went and made the movie Shelby Oaks, and then it was put into festivals, picked up by Neon, which I think from the outside, like, when I explain this to my dad, like, he doesn't know Neon. Like, he knows he knows 20th Century Fox, even though that's not what it's called anymore, and he knows Universal. But if I were to say A24 or Neon or something like that, like, he doesn't know what those are. But I consider Neon to be a major studio. Like, I think they're a big player in the game, and they picked up the movie, gave him some more money to go back and make some changes, and that's what we have now in theaters everywhere, which is just crazy to me as someone who works in the movie theater exhibition industry. It was just crazy getting to hang up the poster, a Chris Stuckman film, around the theater, promote the movie, and then get to put the poster up, show the movie at my theater. Is just really cool. So I actually got to see the movie a week ago today, during AMC's Scream Unseen. They do AMC. I'm promoting my company, I guess. We do like once or twice a month different unscreened titles. So basically, you don't know what it is when you go into it. Shelby Oaks was the movie a week ago, and so I got to sit down and see it, and I liked it afterwards, but I was a little nervous that I was like, okay, maybe this is just me being excited about the whole Chris Stuckman thing. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, I love horror, but I'm like, I don't know. I had some issues with the movie. That being said, I went and saw it again 2 nights ago with Maggie. and I liked it a lot better the second time. I was able to kind of sit back, and a lot of the plot hole issues that I had the first time weren't actually plot holes. They were actually pretty well explained. I just didn't know, because I think the movie doesn't do it does a really good job setting it up, setting up kind of the whole mystery of the movie, but it's so short, which is an okay thing. The movie's only an hour without credits. The movie's only like an hour and 19 minutes. So it's moving so fast that a lot of stuff kind of like just goes right over your head. And upon rewatching it, I found it a lot more fulfilling, where I was like, okay, I see now what he's setting up, because I know how it's going to end. So I think the biggest flaw in the movie, basically, it's a horror movie. It's a debut horror movie, and I think it's a pretty good debut, but there are some the biggest issue I think that a lot of people are going to walk away from it is that it does feel like a lot of different movies. And that's not a bad thing. Like, a lot of my favorite movies are just retreads of things that we've seen a bajillion times. But you definitely get I've heard a lot of comparisons to Hereditary and M. Night Shyamalan movies, and all of the comparisons are very just. I think that that didn't really bother me. To me, I think the biggest flaw, not even flaw, but just issue that I had with the movie was honestly the performances, and I think the script, which sucks, because I love Chris, and I wish I didn't have to be like, hey man, I think your script is gonna. I think the story is very interesting, but I think the dialogue itself was pretty rough, and the actors that he had, I don't think necessarily were able to take that dialogue and really flesh it out. The first time I watched the movie, I thought his lead actress, who plays Mia, was phenomenal. I thought she was really good. Upon second viewing, I realized she doesn't really say much. She does she has dialogue, obviously, but there's a big chunk of this movie where she's just emoting, and when she's just purely emotive, I think she's doing really well. And that goes for all of the actors. But I think once it comes down to the dialogue itself, it's just not the best. I think that the dialogue was something that he definitely struggled with. I'd be interested. I kind of said this after, this was years ago, and I don't know that my review is still up. It might still be up on the Tim Loves Movies YouTube channel, but when I reviewed Hereditary the first time, one of the things that I said was I think Ari Aster is a really great director, but I just didn't like the script, and I'd love to see him direct something that's not written by him. He has yet to do that for me, but I think that Chris is, as of right now, what I'm seeing is I would like to see him direct something that he hasn't written. But again, the performances on the whole, the lead actress is great, I thought, but everyone else pretty mediocre. There's nothing really stand out about the performances. But the biggest strength of the movie is the atmosphere and the scares. I think the movie is genuinely really freaky, in the sense that Stuckman did a really good job keeping the movie spooky. like there were lots of moments where it's like tense, uncomfortable horror moments. He really captures that, and I thought it was done extremely well. There's lots of I don't know how to say this without spoiling it. There's lots of scenarios that the characters are put into that are very uncomfortable and weird and bizarre. And when they happen, I think from the camera work, the cinematography, like the way the movie's shot, lit, and everything, like it looks really good. And it gives the good atmosphere that you want from this type of movie. So on the whole, I liked it better the second time. I think because a lot of the, like I said before, a lot of the issues I had the first time were plot based, script based, and most of them were kind of resolved upon second viewing. I still kind of see that as a detriment. Anytime that anybody says to me, like, well, you really got to see that movie twice to fully understand that, I think that's bullshit. I should be able to get a movie the first time. But this one, again, I think that I liked it better the second time once I knew what was going into it. And why did I see it a second time, you also may ask? Is I did want to support the movie. I wanted to give it my money. I frankly, I gave it my money for when I donated to it, but also I saw it for free the first time, and I really wanted to pay for it, go out and see it, go out and support it, not use my free tickets that I get. Excuse me, for working at the theater. So I'm glad I went out and supported. I'm glad that I saw other people sitting in the theater, and I actually haven't looked at the box office numbers, so you might know already what this movie did over the weekend, but I do not. The last I looked at Friday, and it made like $1 million Friday. So we'll see how it did Saturday and Sunday. But I hope this gives Chris the opportunity to get to his next movie, because I think the dude is really talented, especially behind the camera. He's seen a bajillion movies, and he's watched and critiqued so many movies for so long that I think he knows from behind the camera, especially, what is good. And I thought he did a really great job. So on the whole, I think the movie is one that if you are a horror fan and you don't mind seeing something that is you've seen before, you've seen a lot of what's going on in this movie before, you're gonna enjoy it. But it's nothing to write home about. It's not a Get Out level directorial debut. It's just not. But I think it's a really strong start for someone who clearly just loves movies, and I couldn't be happier for him. I hope the movie's a success. Thank you to Neon for picking it up and making it possible, because damn, it was cool to see it in the theater and to see a Chris Stuckman film show up on the screen. I can't imagine how he feels, but for me, a big fan of his, it was a really cool moment to see. So those are my thoughts on Shelby Oaks. If you have thoughts, like I said, if you've seen it, or if you were a GoFundMe backer the way that I was, or that Maria was, let us know. I'd love to talk to you. Love to hear your thoughts on the movie. But that's going to do it for me on this review, and I'm going to shoot it back to me.